In the music industry, winning a Grammy is the ultimate accolade. The National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences has been awarding Grammys for recording since 1958. Every year, the winners are honored with a Golden Gramophone Trophy. The Grammys are to the music industry what the Oscars are to movies. The coveted trophy is made of gold-plated Gramium. But don't look for that metal on the periodic table. It's a proprietary zinc alloy specially formulated and trademarked by the artisan who makes the Grammys. To make the base of the trophy, they heat the Gramium to 644 degrees and pour it into a bronze mold. They immediately pour out the excess molten metal. What remains quickly solidifies in a thin layer against the walls of the cavity, creating a hollow cast. They also cast the gramophone's cabinet and tone arm in Gramium. They remove mold seams, excess metal, and smooth out the surface of each cast component with a belt sander. Then they file by hand the areas the belt can't reach. Finally, they polish the metal with an abrasive compound on a buffing wheel. They make sure there are no surface imperfections. Now they work on the gramophone's iconic horn. Using a metal shear, they cut a disc of malleable bronze. They mount the disc on a lathe. As the lathe spins, they use a series of tools to transform the flat disc into a horn. Then they spin the horn on a different lathe, pressing an abrasive cloth against the surface to remove any tool marks. Before they connect the tone arm to the cabinet, they brush on some flux, a chemical that makes the stationary solder flow into the tiny gap between components. Now they bolt the tone arm to the cabinet, then solder. They submerge this part of the trophy in a degreasing solution for a few minutes, then in water. Gold doesn't adhere to zinc, so they plate it with copper. They run a positive electric charge through the trophy and a negative charge through a piece of copper also suspended in the plating tank. This process dissolves the copper, then draws the particles through the water and onto the trophy. They repeat the electroplating process in a different tank, this time with nickel. Nickel creates a sufficiently hard base to support the gold plating. It also makes gold appear brighter. After another rinse, it's back into a tank for the final plating with 24-karat gold. To prepare the trophy's base for painting, they smooth the surface with a belt sander. Then fine sand by hand. They spray on an epoxy primer, let it dry for a day, then wet sand it with fine sandpaper. They repeat these steps with the black primer, then paint the base with high-gloss, chip-resistant black paint. Once it dries, they can finish assembling the trophy. They bolt the polished gold-plated cabinet and tone arm to the painted base. Then they take the horn, which has been gold-plated and polished, and screw it into the tone arm. After 15 hours of craftsmanship, this Grammy is ready to be awarded. But this trophy won't be handed out during the award show. The Grammys handed out on stage are actually props that are used year after year. The winners receive a personalized trophy a few weeks after the show. The base has a brass plate engraved with their name and musical category.